Right, good afternoon. Just getting off to the live stream. Here we are. So it's yet another win for Manchester City. Very little to interest early on. We've got the Bundesliga beginning now. The Turkish one leg is kicking off at the moment. Bandemirspor have been red carded against Adanaspor. That could be worth having a look at. So good afternoon. Hopefully the Wi-Fi will be okay. So I hope you can see and hear me okay. I'm not getting there we go. Hello, Alan. Nice to see you. So I hope you can see and hear everything okay. I'm just, there we go, got rid of that. So we'll just get ready, set up. Anybody else who's watching, if you could just say hello in the chat, that would be excellent. As you can see, Bundesliga beginning. I'm just going to collect my odds-on favourites. Good stuff from Mallorca. Must win today for Mallorca. 1-0 up. Tends to be a typical home scoreline. But they must keep Las Palmas quiet. Las Palmas' season, I think, is over. AIK are a goal down to Sirius. This is early in the Allsvenskan season, but we've got a 1.73 favourite, so we might have some action there. Challenge League, I won't go any deeper than the Challenge League. So we'll work our way down just while we're waiting for the German Bundesliga to kick off. We'll get the goals flowing. Collect your odds on favourites. The market's already done the work for you. So that's what I'm doing now on soccer24.com. Beijing Guan are 0-2 down to Maizhou. They were strong favourite pre-match, but they did lose by 3 goals against the same side the last time these two met. So it's difficult to get enthused about a possible comeback for Beijing Guan. Father, have a cup of tea. We're coming back to that once we have a look at the in-play stats. The later we play, of course, the lower the liability. It is 72 minutes in, and they haven't scored yet. Beijing Guan, Father, have a cup of tea. So not going the way of market expectation that at all. There we go. 1.25 pre-match favourite. If you look at the head-to-head, Maizhou Haka, comfortable winners in the last head-to-head. Goals from open play as well. No rhyme or reason why Beijing Guan, Father, have a cup of tea, were 1.25 favourites. So we'll have to keep an eye on that one. Or maybe enter perhaps in the 80th minute, something like that. Keep your liability low. You can see the last odds-on favourite in China failed to score. So it might not be the most trustworthy of leagues. So in that regard, keep your risk as low as possible. So again, just collecting the odds on favourites. Poulsen 1-1 against Slovakia. Is that an opportunity? Banach Ostrava a goal down to Mlada Boleslav. Again, in-play stats will help unpack whether we've got an opportunity with those two. Lots of goals coming in the Turkish One League. I don't know if it's the last day of the season there. We can have a check of that.
Goal. Sanli Irfas Bermanisa BBSK is 1-0.
Yeah, that's Sanlias Burspor from the Turkish One League. Really
This
good
market
in-play
has been
stats.
suspended.
Suspended market. Is that a goal in the Beijing Guan match? We will have a look. We will wait and see. Hopefully it's a 1-2. Volume is low, says Paul. Thank you very much, Paul. Yeah, thank you, Paul. Appreciate your response. I'll just up this. It's a Yeti microphone, this one. Can you hear me okay now? The audio output Just see if I can figure that out. I've not got the Yeti today, so it should be on the normal speaker. But let's just up this a bit. So if you can just let me know, Paul, if it's okay. I've got the mic here as well. So hopefully we'll be okay. So do let me know if it continues to be quiet. I'll just up this a little bit as well. So has that improved matters, Paul? You can just let me know. That would be great. Thank you. So we're down at the Czech League, Danish First Division. Again, we've got an odds-on favourite, and AAB Aalborg have been red carded. So that could catch our attention as well. I think we've had volume problems recently with doing my videos as well. It's not had the full volume, but I hope this is okay for you. I'll just come back to the YouTube if everything's okay. Thank you very much, Bosun. Thank you, Alan. So thanks for letting me know, Paul. So looks as if that's been improved. So thank you for letting me know there, Paul. I do appreciate that. So let's carry on and pick up some more odds on favourites. You might want to investigate Beijing Guoan, although it looks as if it's not a going day for them. The real pattern in these playoffs for League One and League Two has been for the team conceding the first 2 or 3 goals to actually get back on parity.
Goal.
It happened yesterday.
Beijing Guoan Miazhu Haka is 1-2.
We got the goal back for Beijing Guoan. Excellent. So if you got involved with that one, good timing. 77th minute gives you 13 minutes for Beijing Guoan, as you can see there, to get that second goal. Plenty of time. Plenty of time. 1.25 pre-match. Is that going to be accurate? As I was saying, we've tended to see, we saw it yesterday, I think, with Crewe scoring 2 goals against Doncaster to make it after 16 minutes. So Crawley are 3-0 down. Are they going to pull their finger out? Sorry, Crawley are 3-0 up. Are MK Dons going to pull their finger out and continue the pattern? If so, well, we will see. You might want to back 3-0 MK Dons, or over 2.5 goals in the first half market for MK Dons. You never know. They could pull it off. It's been a real pattern of late in these matches. Turkish Yorkshiremen 3-0 up already. They're already heading off to the Turkish Super League next season. Haka, Ulu odds on. HJK not odds on, but I will certainly keep an eye out on them today. They should be title contenders this season. Holstein Kiel 2.5 the favourites. Toughie a bit later on. Borussia Mönchengladbach opening scoreline against Eintracht Frankfurt. We'll have to check at this stage of the season if there's actually any motivating factor for either of these two sides. We have to, at this stage of the season, look for motivation. And when we got motivation against dead rubbers, as you saw last night, motivated sides did tend to turn up. OFI Crete favourite today. That's the first goal in the Bundesliga. Borussia Mönchengladbach 1-0 against Eintracht Frankfurt. Israel Liga Ha'al, well, Maccabi Tel Aviv, not their usual odds on favourites today. So, see if my old mates Hapoel Beersheva playing today. No, they're not. No real odds on there. Italian Serie B last night, monitoring that one, along with the Eerste Divisie and French Ligue 2, whose final season, I think, is next week. If I'm getting that right, that one or Germany or Italy, one of the two. Can't remember off the top of my head. We'll have to check. Norwegian Elite Serien, very strong favourite in Molde today. Odds on favourites Vålerenga. Just treat this with kid gloves early on, because there's not many matches to work with in the Oberliga at the moment. So we're nearly finished. We're down to P now. Polish Ekstraklasa, Jagiellonia odds on. Górnik Zabrze odds on. Rakau, champions last season, odds on. No Arka Gdynia today, but Wisla might get some interest from us. We need that second goal from Beijing Guoan. If you want to lay Maitsu Haka as late as possible, they've been red carded as well, Maitsu Haka. So that will be a very nice odds move, I think, and it will be a good opportunity to get that money back, get that profit. Sporting Lisbon, Estrela, odds on tonight in La Liga Portugal. So we're nearly finished, and then we can go off and have a first look at the in-play stats feeds. Romania, Russia, can't play Russia at the moment. There'll be Scottish Premier League. We had the Old Firm derby earlier on. Celtic cruising really first half. Hearts odds on. I like Hearts when they're odds on as well. They should be reliable. Championship relegation. The problem here will be a lack of liquidity in the markets for the lower tiers in Scotland, which is a real pity because there's plenty of information and it's the kind of leagues you should get to know. But you can get on, but it'd be difficult to get out if you're trading. Sweden, I think, has a full complement of matches today. We'll get to that very soon after our Spanish friends have finished playing. The Swedish Allsvenskan. No, that was last night, I think. I thought there were some Swedish matches today. Maybe it's a bit further down the line for the Allsvenskan. No, I thought there was. AIK must have kicked off a little bit earlier. Young boys, usually reliable at odds on. And Turkish One League, Adana Demirspor and Bandırmaspor. Just have a look at the live standings at this stage of the season. That's what they're there for. Give you a good indicator of which matches to fixate on and which ones are dead rubbers. So Jite, red card. Let's have a look at the standings. Ayopspor already promoted. So no more Turkish jokes, Yorkshire jokes from me today. If you look to the standings rather than live standings, with the arrow, you'll see Göztepe and Ayopspor, job done already for these two. So the job, I think, is for Bandırmaspor, who have been red carded. So they're going to be worrying a little bit.
This market has been suspended.
That could be the 2-2 for Beijing Guoan. Father, have a cup of tea. Genka Biliki, Bolaspor.
Beijing Guoan Miazhu Haka is 2-2.
Beautiful, beautiful. That red card did help. So that's got my money back from earlier on. I was a bit reticent in passing this one on to you, given the fact that their opponent scored 3 goals against them. Genka Biliki, Bolaspor, plenty to play for. Adanaspor need to win. This lot are leading already, so this isn't the live standings, I don't think, because we don't have the scorelines in it. Well done to Beijing Guoan. I hope you got involved. Don't wait for me to take action, please. I did give you a nice nudge. The odds were short. I really hope you got stuck in. That's just confirmed now. It's 2-2. This is the live standings. So as you can see, Adanaspor, a win for them would be very useful indeed. Tuzlaspor, well, they're in trouble. They're a goal down. Stanleyspor, if you looked at the in-play stats, absolutely bossing this one all the way along. We've got Bolaspor and Bandırmaspor keen to keep Genka Biliki in check. So those will be the matches to focus on. This lot look safe, at least today. So as we did last night, Union Berlin scored first against FC Köln. Union Berlin, again, odds-on favourite today, aren't they? And this is a relegation 6-pointer as well. I'm just going to star the Turkish One League and just keep an eye once the matches come in, once the goals come in, just to see. I need to see as well if it's the last day of the season there, because we have a specific trading angle for the last days of the season. So you can find this information at uk.soccerway.com. So Adanaspor, I think, need to take advantage of this Bandırmaspor red card. You can see they're in that relegation zone.
This market has been suspended.
That could be the 3-2 for Go on, Father. Have a cup of tea. Beijing Guoan, Father.
Goal.
Father Ted's
Beijing
favourite feed.
Guo and Miazhu Haka is 3-2.
There we go. Job done. Brilliant. I hope you got on. That red card really changed the whole complexion of the match. Just having a look at one of these matches to see how many matches are remaining in the Turkish One League. Looks as if it's the last day of the season. I'll just confirm that. Yes, indeed. Normally last day of the season, they'll all be kicking off at the same time. So we'll be keeping an eye on that. Excellent stuff there. So I really hope you took action there. Brilliant stuff from Beijing Guan. Father, have a cup of tea. Mallorca, desperate need for a win today. Relegation, 6-pointer for them. It's the usual scoreline when Mallorca are involved. It's a 1-0. I hope you can still hear me okay. I'll just come over here. Loud and clear. Thank you very much, Bosun. Good stuff. So no problems there. So I think we can say goodbye to this one. Famous last words, of course. Mallorca, desperate need for 3 points. Doing the right thing. Racing Santander, 6th in the league. Likely they're looking for a promotion playoff place in Secunda. Haka against SJK. Well, that's 87th minute. That's job done as well, I would assume. AIK, there's possibilities here for AIK. 2 shots on, 7 off and 6 corners. 33 dangerous attacks to 11 against a Sirius side who've been pretty poor in their opening start of the season. They've got a real dearth of goals, this Sirius side. So in that regard, this could be a possible trade. But we've got half time. There's no need to rush in. Keep an eye on Adanaspor. We already know now that Adanaspor could really do with some serious help. Just confirm that again. Got the red card to help them, but a win today takes them up to 40 points and brings all of this lot into the equation. So vital, I think, for Adanaspor to take advantage of that extra man. They're now odds-on favourite. 2 shots on, 2 shots off on a corner. Hopefully we can wait for the second half of both AIK and Adanaspor to really get an idea, perhaps do some research. But looking at 3 wins in 4 matches for AIK, all coming at home, scoring 2+ goals. So pretty solid stuff from them. This is what I was talking about. Stanley first ball, 3 shots on, 4 off 3 corners, and motivated. Last day of the season. So any goals that come in Turkey, I'll just investigate to see whether it's a dead rubber or there's a need. Well done to Beijing Guan. Tottenham Hotspur must win. Burnley must win. Tottenham are clinging desperately to European football. West Ham rudderless now. David Moyes will be out in the summer. Can Luton take advantage? Wolves and Crystal Palace. Well, this is a dead rubber, but for me, Crystal Palace will be keen to keep this excellent form under the new manager ticking along. Although away from home, it's been 1-1 and that famous 0-1 against Liverpool, which pretty much did Liverpool's season. So it's a dead rubber, but there's motivation for Crystal Palace, and the manager will have to be motivated to keep the likes of Easy at Palace for next season. Great stuff from Union Berlin, doing exactly what they need to do to stave off relegation. Remember, when they're odds on, they tend to deliver. But they're not odds on today. Sorry, 2.7 the favourite. FC Köln don't really have that reputation for goals, which is a pity. Let's just check the number of matches left. Let's get the research up. You'll find it at footballtradingprofits.com. Just want to check the research for the Bundesliga. So we need to make sure we're not getting involved in dead rubbers. So I think it's 3 or 4 matches remaining in the Bundesliga this season. So some of these matches, like Leipzig, they are guaranteed Champions League football. Werder Bremen, an outside chance with 3 out of 3 wins. Let's just check the amount of matches left. 3 matches remaining. 2 matches remaining. So it's going to be, some of these matches are going to be dead rubbers. So we've got to account for that today in our trading. 2 odds-ons, but do check the live standings, which will include all of the scorelines as they come in. You'll see the importance for Union Berlin of those 2 goals already out. Take 3 points away from this, and you can see they're in a spot of bother. So excellent stuff. But FC Köln, this is likely going to signal relegation. 2 matches remaining. Add 6 points to that, makes 30. Their only goal now is going to be trying to nick Mainz's relegation playoff place. This is the last gasp, the last saloon, or I can't remember this simile. The last chance saloon, that's the one for FC Köln. They've got to get something, otherwise they're done. Simple as that. And Mainz have that game in hand. Looking at Eintracht Frankfurt, they're a goal down. Arguable Hoff are within striking distance. Heidenheim, 39 plus 6 is 45, but they've got a negative goal difference. So I think it's just Hoffenheim, really, that Eintracht Frankfurt have to worry about in the remaining 2 matches of the season there. Freiburg, they'll be keen to stave off the Hoff as well. The Hoff have that game in hand, likely to be playing tomorrow, the Hoff, are they? So watch out there. Plenty of motivation. Not so for...
Goal. Zonder G. Scob is 1-0.
Well, I suppose it is for Mönchengladbach, because you take 3 points away from this, they're on 33. If this becomes a draw, they'll be on 34. And Mainz will be within striking distance with 2 consecutive wins. So plenty still for some teams to play for. But again, if you want to see immediately teams with nothing to play for, click on the standings here and you'll see dead rubber, dead rubber, dead rubber, dead rubber, dead rubber. All of the Champions League spots are sorted. That's why I thought Dortmund's win against Augsburg the other day was very strange, because I think it was a massive changes. They're in the Champions League final now, so they can afford to put on the under-12s ladies side out for their matches. Got to keep the big boys safe for the Champions League final. That's surely going to be playing on their mind. So watch out for an underperformance from Dortmund. Possible underperformance from Dortmund. Get rid of that one. Coming to the end of the match, Sonder and AAB. Alberg, that red card seems to have been affected. AIK and Sirius, this is a possible play. Adanaspor, we need to see more of a reaction from Adanaspor to the red card in the 12th minute.
Market has been suspended.
That's the end of the Beijing Guan match. So I got a profit out of that one. I resigned myself to defeat there, but well done to Beijing Guan. Excellent stuff. The lead for Stanley Afurspor, I can get rid of that one now, and we'll just have our first look at the in-play stats. English Premier League coming up. Tottenham and Burnley is a must-win for both of these sides. It's more important for Tottenham that they must get something out of this match. 4 consecutive defeats, albeit playing some big guns. 2 London derbies involved there, and you know all about London derbies or derby matches. They can be tough to read. West Ham and Luton, as I say, it's a must-win for Luton. West Ham a little bit rudderless now that Moyes is going in the summer. Wolves and Palace, as I say, dead rubber, but motivation is high for Crystal Palace to continue this wonderful run under Oliver Glasner. Everton and Sheffield United is a dead rubber. The Blades are down. The Toffees are sticking in the Premier League. So, again, for me, that's a match of motivation. We've had Calvert-Lewin and Gueye, if I'm pronouncing his name right, Gueye, or Gueye, both suddenly starting to score when they've realistically had a pretty poor season. So motivation high for Everton to continue looking to those 2 players to continue their excellent attacking style, because Everton are not renowned for being goal merchants. Newcastle at home to Brighton, dead rubber for Brighton. Newcastle have got European football in mind. So again, we've got to weed out the dead rubbers. got to maintain a focus on motivated sides. You saw last night, I hope, if you were up and about, the difference motivated sides had. We had Venezia cocking it up. We had Como getting a late draw to go into the automatic promotion spots in Italian Serie B. It was all exciting stuff. Got Rodez equalising against Saint Etienne. Big boy Saint Etienne. That's going into the final day of the season with Rodez desperate need for points. So dead rubber-ish. European football, I suppose, not really dead rubber. Freiburg and Heidenheim, outside chance for Freiburg. Köln and Union Berlin is a relegation 6-pointer. So we really need to maintain discipline. I don't know if we'll get any trades today, apart from the Beijing one. And the Norwegian First Division, we can start changing our focus soon. I think probably once next week is out of the way with the end of the season, we can maintain a focus then on our summer leagues, which are the Finnish Veikkausliiga, Norwegian Obosliigan, Norwegian Tippeliigan, Swedish Allsvenskan, Swedish Superettan. Anything else I've missed? Irish Premier Division, Irish First Division, and we can also start looking at the tennis as well. I would recommend, I know there's a few members who are really interested in the tennis and are already trading tennis. It is quite simple. It's as simple as you want it to be. You can trade service games. You can trade second service games because you've got the second serve percentages are often worse for players. So we've got all sorts of angles. I just do the set betting at the moment, but I'm willing to learn a bit more. There's plenty of information about tennis, and I would recommend something like Everend. If you want to get involved in your tennis trading or get some more football trading angles, sign up for this for 30 days free and then cancel after the 30 days. This opens the whole door up to a number of ebooks, etc. So you can put in tennis trading. Don't forget to cancel after the 30 days is up. So tennis trading will provide you with a whole list of reading material. Same with football trading, you can get some new ideas there as well. So Everend, well worth your attention. Don't spend money on trading manuals. Look at all of this. Mastering tennis trading, master tennis trading, etc., etc. Trading goals as well. So this is what I do. I like having a read of these, and if I find anything, I will pass it on to you. Normally, I try to try it out first. Also, Betfair and Freiburg have scored first against Heidenheim, so we can have a look at that match. Betfair will give you a dummies guide to Betfair. You might just get some additional. There we go. Strategies of trading in Betfair. You can read all of this for free for 30 days. So I think this is well worth your attention. Winning on Betfair for dummies as well. Just think the amount of money you'll save for 30 days. So I find this an excellent website. It's also got used to have a lot of my writing there as well from the old days. People upload stuff. So do have a look. Everend.com. I'm not an affiliate. I'm just trying to give you some, save you some money. 30-day trial. Cancel after 29 days. Have a good read into the tennis trading. You might learn some key distinctions there. We've got a goal for Freiburg. So again, we'll just test it out. Odds on favourites Freiburg today. Need for points. Let's have a look. Freiburg, yes, need for points. They're currently holding on to that Europa Conference League qualifying place. Again, the Hoff will be playing a little bit later, I believe, against Darmstadt on the 12th. That's tomorrow. So the onus is on the Hoff to get a win tomorrow to stay on the coattails of Freiburg, if Freiburg get this win today. Heidenheim, safe. They're not going to be relegated. They could still arguably, can they? Well, 38 plus 6 is 44. If they're playing Freiburg, they need to take points off Freiburg. So this might not be over today. Heidenheim will need to do something against Freiburg. They have a good reputation for drawing, so we'll keep an eye on that one. This is a dead rubber, although an outside chance for Werder Bremen that they can hassle Freiburg's final place. They're on 39 points. A win today, don't forget this accounts for the draw, so they're on 38 points. A win today takes them to 41 points, and then another win takes them to 44. So the onus really, they'll have a positive goal difference as well. So it's a must-win really for Werder Bremen. And as you know, if you're looking at the standings, it's job done for Leipzig. It's just a squabble about league position between them and Dortmund. I don't think that's important enough really to bust a gut, is it? Unless they fancy a top 3 place with Bayern Munich. Are they in the Champions League? I think they are, aren't they? Or are they out? I can't remember. But, I know a website who knows. I think they're out. Certainly Dortmund are through. I can't see Bayern Munich.
This market has been suspended.
Not to worry. It's not important today. So, let's just do our first quick look through the in-play stats, see if there's anything which grabs the eye. We'll get rid of these peripheral matches as well. And the 3 o'clocks are kicking off. We're going to have a big gap, of course. Our old pals, English Championship, English League 1, English League 2. Bye-bye. Season finished for all of that lot. Leipzig and Werder, as you know, just be very, very wary with dead rubbers, please. Eintracht Frankfurt. Again, I just want to confirm that the Eintracht Frankfurt Mönchengladbach match is a match of importance. I suppose it is, because Eintracht Frankfurt are keen to hold that Europa League place. They can be got at by Freiburg if they maintain that defeat. Mönchengladbach, nothing to play for. Can't be caught. Or can they? Yes, they can, can't they? Because it's 3 matches remaining for Mainz, I believe. So important for Mönchengladbach. So we'll keep an eye on that one. 3 o'clock's kicking. Big gap, of course. As I say, English Championship, League 1, League 2, all done and dusted. So we might start looking at these Norwegian First Division matches. It's a tough old league to trust, I'll be perfectly honest. Can be all over the shop. But we've got Bryn odds on. So let's just collect our odds ons initially. Put them at the top. And Kongsvinger odds on. And we can have a quick look at early season standings using soccerstats.com. Just to get an idea of who's performed best early season. Okay, so soccerstats.com. And we're going to Norway. And we're going to the First Division in Norway. So there we go. Also called the Obos-ligaen. And let's just have a look at the table thus far. So it's only early in the season, so it makes it difficult to read. We've got 2 sides who haven't lost a match yet. Stabæk and Egersund. Kongsvinger are odds on favourite today, only the 1 defeat so far. Strugglers today haven't started yet. No wins for them, no wins for Asane. Sometimes these sides are targetable, these early season strugglers. Mjøndalen are they're the Hoff of Norway, Mjøndalen. The Man United of Norway, very unreadable and untrustworthy. So it's a little too early in the season for us to get excited. So the in-play stats will play a key role in following these matches today. So keen to see that start. It's having a look at the Bundesliga, and Werder Bremen have the opening goal against Leipzig. As you know, it's going to be very difficult to trust RB Leipzig. It's job done. And Eintracht Frankfurt have equalised against Borussia Mönchengladbach. How has that impacted on these two? Werder Bremen must win if they're going to have a chance at trying to breach Freiburg. Now, do we take on Werder Bremen? That's the difficult question because it's a dead rubber. This is going to change soon. There we go. So you've got Werder Bremen zooming all the way up to 8th now with that single goal. That's how important that win possibly today is against a dead rubber side like Leipzig. And ordinarily, 9 times out of 10, we would take on a Werder Bremen lead away at Leipzig. But the question is motivation, busting a gut. Mönchengladbach 1-1 against Frankfurt. So Frankfurt will be delighted. They've got a 2-point gap now with a couple of matches remaining, including today's. So that's a vitally important point for them in that squabble with Freiburg for the Europa League spot. It's a huge motivating factor for them. Mönchengladbach dropping to 2 points, having let that lead go. So that's 29
Goal.
to 34.
Vornik Zabristol Milik is 1-0.
Luton Town have scored first against West Ham. And again, it's very tough to trust this West Ham side with David Moyes now managerless. They will be managerless. They've got Lopetegui, I think, coming in. Second half has begun for AIK and Sirius, given Sirius's very poor form. And again, this is one of our summer leagues, so we'll be transferring, as I say, interest to these summer leagues eventually. And as I said, Heidenheim do like a score draw, but I wouldn't necessarily have laid Freiburg immediately. It's 1-1 to Heidenheim. So it's all exciting stuff in the Bundesliga. But I will be having a look at Sirius, I think. Possibility of AIK getting a result. Sirius have been in extremely poor form. Freiburg 1-1 now. They're down to 42 points. And Werder Bremen can smell them from there. That's the importance of that equaliser for Heidenheim. Heidenheim got nothing really to play for unless they can still see Freiburg from where they are, can't they? Make this a win for Heidenheim. Add another 2 points to that. They're on to 41, same as Werder Bremen. So this is all about the final European place for all of these sides. That's why you're getting such a good performance. Luton, well, we'll have to look at West Ham. They do have Bowen in the side. He is a lethal goal scorer. Let's have a look at AIK and Sirius's early start to the season. I don't know off the top of my head the form because we've been fixated on the elite leagues. But let's have a quick look at AIK and Sirius. I think Sirius have had trouble scoring that second goal. So they could be vulnerable today. Let's have a look at soccerstats.com. I might play this one. Although it's very early in the season, albeit more games played than in Norway. Looks like a good start, AIK, particularly at home. I like the fact they're scoring 2+ goals at home. Their only loss has come against Malmo, who have had an exceptional start to the season. Sirius had an exceptional start to the season, but it's all gone Lionel Blair on them. They failed to score in 4 of the last 5 matches. So really, are they going to score that second consecutive goal? It looks on its early season form that we should be taking on this Sirius side. So let's have a look at that particular match. Sirius, I've got a number of bots running today. They're doing okay in the greyhounds and all that. So I'll be keeping an eye on them as well. There's Beijing Guan Father. Have a cup of tea. Getting the win. So we'll have a look at AIK and Sirius. And as ever, for me personally, I'll be laying over 1.5 goals. Now, we've had a lot of trouble with these early leagues, not delivering. And you got the clue in what I've just said, early leagues. There's a real dearth of form lines. But I'm going to have a go personally. I'm going to lay over 1.5 goals. The insurance is relatively high, but hopefully we'll be compensated by higher odds for AIK in the +1 market, which would be my preferred market. My preferred market, really, at this stage of the season. And have I just...
This market has been suspended.
Oh, you're joking.
Brian
Well, no, you're
John
not
Deland is
joking.
1
You've
to
saved me.
0.
It's 0-2 to Sirius, so bang. I've lost my 12 quid, but it could have been a lot worse. And that's what I was just telling you about. Early season. First time they've scored 2 goals since the 8th of April.
AIK Sirius is 0 to 2.
And we have to look at the in-play stats now. 2 shots on 7 off and 6 corners. I think Sirius might be gettable, especially if these odds are this low. Disappointed that got taken. It's bad timing. It's a gentle reminder to you, Sweden, Norway, you're going to get some shocks early on. That's not the winner I wanted. But what kind of odds are we looking at now? Well, this, I think, might deliver us something. So we'll have a bit of a look here. Keep your liability as low as possible, given the it's a second half as well, so the clock's not on our side. And this is an unexpected 2 goals from Sirius. It might be a penalty. It might be an own goal, given their recent woeful form. But AIK have been scoring 2+ goals at home. So let's give this one a good go. And we're going to have a look at backing AIK as well. Because what we want to do is make this work for us. So I'll try to get it up to 100. So we're nearly there. Keep that to about a tenner. There, that's perfect. So if we can get a quick goal from AIK, who've scored 2 goals, as you know, in 3 of the last 4 home matches, we might have some angle there. So I'll pass this one on to Telegram, as I think it looks a good angle with that 0-2 lead. It's very early in the season, so please, please, please keep your liability as low as possible. Okay. Good afternoon, Swedish Allsvenskan, AIK. So if you search for them, AIK, playing Sirius. Sirius have taken a 2-goal lead away from home. Now, AIK have scored 2+ goals in the last 3 home matches, winning them all. Sirius have failed to score in 4 of the last 5 matches, so this is a shock. I've laid Sirius at 1.27. I've backed AIK at 17.5. Keep your liability low. It's very early in the Swedish Allsvenskan season, so we could get some possible shock results, as we've already seen. But this is a good entry point. Liability is low. We've got an AIK we know have 2 goals in the locker at home, but the clock's not our friend. It's the beginning of the second half. So possibilities here. I like the in-play stats for AIK. I will just check that second goal. I wonder if it was a goal of any from open play, or was it a surprise? So let's have a look at the goal. Just give us a little bit more confidence if it was a penalty, for example. No, Selek and Miliskog, so they're starting to score. Pre-match odds 1.73. We already know the recent form, so you can get the home form for the home side, away form for the away side, and you'll see a pretty good picture for AIK at home. 6 goals, 2 goals, 2 goals. But did they have a good second half scoring record? Indeed. 57th and 75th minute. That augurs well for us. And again, home for the home side. AIK against Van Armo. First or second half goals? Let's have a quick look. These are both first half. With a nice 6-goal haul against Norrköping with home advantage. Plenty of second half goals there. 3 of them. 69th minute onwards. Koulibaly, will certainly be needing him to be playing today for AIK. So if we do have lineups, got to see this Koulibaly up front. This is for the 2-0. Let's just get back. and look at today's match. Make sure Koulibaly's playing. He's been an important factor in front of goal. Köln have a goal back against Union Berlin. A real relegation 6-pointer this one. Koulibaly is on the left. He's got goals in the locker. And there's old Celine Dion as well, has been scoring too. So a good chance for AIK today, but the clock's not our friend. The negative is it's too early in the season, isn't it, to be ultra confident. So let's keep that liability as low as possible. Keep it to a tenner or thereabouts. So just make sure you're all okay here. West Ham nearly scored from Bowen, says Robert. So possibilities that Luton might be vulnerable. We'll have to keep an eye on the in-play stats there. It's very difficult to trust a side with very little to play for in West Ham. I'll just get rid of this one. Don't know why they're doing there. So we've got, get the AIK match. I like this, you see, secondary stats. I like that. But only 2 shots on target. Maybe Sirius have been working on the attack and the defence, given their woeful display recently. Adanaspor, 52 minutes in, they've only really improved on their shots off target in reaction to the red card. Don't forget, it's a must-win for Adanaspor today in the Turkish 1 League. They're in the relegation zone. Must get that win.
Goal.
Must take advantage.
Kongsvinger Raufoss is 0-1.
That's a possible as well. Now, I've just warned you about trusting these early season sides. 1.7 favourite Kongsvinger. We'll have a look at the research. But I have had my fingers burnt already in Sweden. Having said that, Strong Godset did concede the first 2 goals when very strong favourite. But did come back to make it 2-2. We've got odds on favourite goals coming in as well. That's the Kongsvinger Raufoss. And Kocaelispor. This is the last day of the season, so we've got to check out the Turkish 1 League. Let's have a look. Is this a match of importance? So live standings are needed. Kocaelispor against Sakaryaspor. Kocaelispor on 55 points now are losing, but they can't be caught. Currently, Boluspor with a win will go to 53 points. So Kocaelispor looks safe. Sakaryaspor, they're third at the moment. They need to win. They've got Bodrumspor. No, they can't be caught by Bodrumspor, can they? Because Bodrumspor are leading, and that's the maximum they can get out of today, 59. But if Sakaryaspor don't win, Bodrumspor are in this. Korum could catch them as well. So important for Sakaryaspor to get a win, not so for Kocaelispor. So it's not really a shock. Brighton scoring first against Newcastle could be a potential shock. You see that red dot normally suggests a goal coming in. So we'll have a look at that one. So Kongsvinger and Raufoss, we'll just check that one out in the Norwegian First Division. Again, we're suffering from a lack of matches. You've already seen we're potentially caught out with AIK Sirius. But Brighton have scored first against Newcastle, as you can hear there. Don't forget, it's vital for Newcastle to pick up points. They are excellent at home. Brighton have got very little to play for. In fact, nothing apart from the league position. Kongsvinger and Raufoss. Why, we've already had a quick look at Kongsvinger, didn't we? They've only lost 1 match early on this season. But we haven't really looked at their form in depth. Neither have we looked at Raufoss. So we'll have a quick look at this. You're getting in-play stats here now at soccerstats.com. So that's excellent, isn't it? But the problem is they're only for 1 match only. I prefer to see every single match on the 1 page. Football 24, yet again, the volume isn't working with this. It's ridiculous. I need to be alerted, auditory alerts, rather than trying to keep an eye on the scores as they come on. Kongsvinger, big loss against Stabæk last match. Where on earth did that come from after an excellent start to the season, scoring 2+ goals? And now Raufoss have started to win as well. Suddenly, a bit like Sirius, suddenly turning up. So difficult, very difficult. But at home, they've scored 2 or 3 goals, Kongsvinger. So we'll keep an eye on the in-play stats. And the in-play stats started looking very good. 4 shots on 1 off 4 corners, 17 dangerous attacks to 6. I'm going to give it a bit of a breathing space because Ralphers are suddenly hitting a little bit of form with 2 consecutive wins. We can see still that AIK being kept very quiet. We'll have to head off and look at Newcastle and Brighton. It's very early in the match, so I'm not too keen on laying Brighton just yet, but Newcastle very strong favourite today. No shot on target just yet, but they've got a desperate need for points for
This market has been suspended.
European football. So one of our matches of interest is suspended. And there we go. It's 0-3 for Sirius, so that's come completely out of the
Goal.
blue.
AIK Sirius is 0-3.
And a really good reminder to you to be careful this early part of the season. But 63 minutes, given AIK is scoring 2+ goals, you might want to top up. Newcastle need to keep Chelsea at bay. Brighton can't really breach 36 matches, 2 left, 56 and a negative goal difference. So they can't really breach European places. Newcastle, though, will be keen, I think, motivated to get a result here. So I might play this Newcastle match. Sirius I might just top up on. Although I'm flogging a dead horse here, I think. Really. I've just warned you that it's too early in the season, but this is going to cost you a matter of pennies just to really turn this into 13 quid or 14 quid and look at the difference it's making to the returns. So just adding another £1.90 liability is bringing the draw up to nearly 50 quid. More importantly, it's what I call averaging. If we can get a goal from AIK still, that's going to significantly impact our ability to get out of this trade. But potentially with a profit, you saw it last week. So do not lay at 1.25. This bloke's taking the mickey. Taking the absolute proverbials out of you. Although the odds are rising now. But this is an illiquid market. That's pretty much what that's telling you. There we go, 106 again. That's been matched all the way down to 104. So just be careful, please. If you're a novice, you suddenly see a rise to 1.25 and you click. That's what these people are doing. They're trying to trick you. So I've just topped up again. I call it averaging. What will happen if AIK can score the next goal? The loss is going to be significantly lower. And look at the potential rewards as well. Still enough time left, but a shock 0-3 for Sirius coming straight out of the blue. And a gentle reminder to you that Norway, Sweden, Finland, it's very, very early in the season. There are going to be some shock results. I think Newcastle and Brighton might be gettable here. Let's have a look. Let's have a look at the lineups. Make sure we've got a strong Newcastle side out. Gordon, Isak, Alexander Isak, Murphy, Longstaff, Guimares, Anderson, Hall, Byrne, Kraft, Livramento and Dubravka. On the bench, Almiron. So if they need goals, Almiron, Joe Linton. Pope is being rested. That's strange. Trippier is being rested. So that's a weird setup. Unless they're coming off the back of injury. So that's very strange indeed. It's not your first 11 for Newcastle, and they might be paying the price. So I would expect some substitutions at some point if this isn't working for Newcastle. I'm not sure about whether to take on. We'll find out whether there is any subs. But this is vital for Newcastle to get a result here for European football. So the in-play stats will help us. 3 shots off 2 corners. Normally they're brilliant at home. So I might just actually play this. We'll have a look at the Newcastle-Brighton market. So I think we can say bye-bye to this one. Newcastle and Brighton. I'm playing motivation here, but I'm a bit worried about the team. It's not the first 11. Why on earth is Kieran Trippier not playing? World-class England international. So have a look at the half-time market first. Can we have a play without it costing us too much? I think that would be the wise move, given the very strange team selection today from Eddie Howe. So I would look at 1-1, 2-1, any unquoted again. I'm only keeping my liability low because I'm just a bit worried with that team selection. I'll be looking for those subs to come on at some point. So again, try to keep this under a tenner. Just a marginal gain on that, on the 1-1 for me anyway. You've got a number of options. You can spread your stake and you'll be equal if you've got software like this, like Fairbot. Required profit, you can have a specific profit. These are just figures that are in there. They're not recommended. You've got variable profit, which I prefer, loading up on the bigger scoreline, get a bigger reward for a bigger scoreline. Or you can do a variable profit, which puts the biggest profit on the nearest scoreline, which is an obvious play, isn't it? But this is what stake you want to play. It's 20 or it's a tenner. It'll graduate downwards, loading more in the logical scoreline. Burnley has scored first against the Spuds, so that's interesting as well. I'm just going to give Newcastle some breathing space here, but one shot on 3 off 2 corners. Just get the feeling at home. Look at Adana Spor as well. Possibility of this lay the draw second half if they can break through. We've got a goal now for Burnley against Tottenham, who are in all sorts of bother. And Bournemouth are playing Brentford in what is a dead rubber, so don't pay attention to that. Crystal Palace opening goal. West Ham and Luton is not a dead rubber, but as Robert said, he saw West Ham nearly score. 5 shots off target. It's going to be a tough afternoon for Luton Town, you'd think. So I'm just going to wait for Newcastle. We could get involved in a half-time market. That will limit liability. But why on earth do we have all sorts of team changes there? I just don't understand. Any Geordie fans there? West Ham has motivation. Last time match for David Moyes. Indeed, says Bosun. Yep. Thank you very much, Bosun. That's a good angle. The Köln goal was a penalty against Union Berlin, but has it given Köln some hope? Because it's a relegation 6-pointer, this one. But they look doomed, I think, Mr. Mannering. Doomed. Yeah, Newcastle very tricky for me, but Adana Spor is starting to react to the red card, aren't they? 4 shots on 6 off. It is a must win, but can you trust a side in the relegation zone? That is the question. And I really don't know why Football 24 is not there. So hopefully I'll get my scorelines coming in again. So we've got some conundrums. Can you trust a relegation threatened side in the bottom 3? There we go. We've got my sound back. Certainly the in-play stats are excellent. Good reaction to the red and highly motivated. Must win. Tottenham against Burnley. This is another difficult one, isn't it? Let's have a look at the Tottenham lineup. They're in such negative form. But having said that, they've been playing some really big names. And they've also had 2 London derbies as well. But as you know, this is a relegation 6-pointer for Burnley. 0-2 for Crystal Palace. First time under the new manager. They've scored 2 goals. It's a very strong Tottenham side. Son, Maddison, Johnson, Richarlison, I think, is the absent.
Alson Valerian is 0-1.
He's a big miss, Richarlison. He's the kind of player you can rely on in a tight match. Got plenty of goals coming in. We've got a Desmond Tutu here. Tottenham and Burnley and Newcastle is very tough to call early on. Bournemouth have been... Oh no, Bournemouth's goal disallowed, but it's a dead rubber there. Crystal Palace, first time to score 2 goals away from home under the new manager. If they can keep this first 11 and the new manager next season, watch out. They're going to be a force to be reckoned with. They can keep these tactics working. So with Tottenham, good reaction. 2 shots on 2 shots, 2 corners. let's have a look at the value. If you fancy Adanaspor, well, let's have a look at how you could potentially play this Adanaspor match. So we go to Adanaspor. It's a simple matter of laying the draw, but the conundrum is they are bottom three because they're not reliable. 4 shots on, 6 off, really good reaction. The draw, I would normally tend to do a full stake personally, but I have to investigate this a bit more because its liability is a little bit too high. So I have to think about how else I can attack the draw second half. Drip laying, of course, is a way in, but like this, you've got a number of options here. You can, particularly given the fact this lot are pretty poor, Adanaspor, you can say to yourself, I'm going to get out with a third of liability as loss because this lot are pants. But their reaction is very good. So I'm going to give them until this hits a third of this loss, which is £13. If they haven't scored by then, consideration to cash out, get your 2/3 of liability back in your bank. So that would be a way to handle this, but they're looking good. So a bit torn. 73 minutes for AIK. Sirius just turning up out of nowhere, scoring 3 goals when they failed to score in 4 of the last 5. Embarrassing me. And a gentle reminder, just be very wary early season. Tottenham, 2 shots on, 3 off and 2 corners. I think reaction is good for them, but the value is, I would suspect, in the half-time market. I might give this some breathing space. West Ham, 8 shots off target. And as Bosun has said, and Everton have scored first against Sheffield United. No surprise there. Probably Calvert-Lewin or Guay. I'm sorry, I'm butchering his name. West Ham 8 shots off target. Bosun has said the motivation is in it being Moyes' last home match. Newcastle, well, it's as you were, 1 shot on, 3 off, 3 corners for both sides. I'm not going to get involved just yet here. I'm going to give it some breathing space myself. I like Kongsvinger, but yet again, I don't want to get my fingers burnt by getting involved early season in the first division. So a lot of umming and ahhing from me, I'm afraid, today, having just been kicked in the knackers by Sirius. So I'm just kid gloves at the moment. I certainly wouldn't be laying this Crystal Palace side in their current form. Red hot, the Eagles at the moment. Let's have a look at some of the other matches. In the Bundesliga, again, dead rubber for Leipzig. Must win for Werder Bremen. Must win really for both of these two sides for different reasons. Eintracht Frankfurt keen to keep the Europa League place. Heidenheim, outside chance of European football if they can take 3 points off Freiburg, who currently hold the final place. And there's a Tottenham equaliser. Well, I'm afraid I wasn't confident at all.
Goal.
But,
Tottenham Burnley is 1-1.
there you go. You could have played that in the half-time market, as I was thinking of doing for Newcastle, to limit your liability. So that was a possible angle in there. It's up to you if you want to play. I was just, I suppose, being taken aback by that serious loss. And, well, Tottenham have just been awful. But having said that, they've played 2 London derbies, and you know all about London derbies. They can be very tough to read. Get rid of a few of these. Portuguese Premier League. We've got the big guns a bit later on today. Sporting Lisbon, particularly later on. Championship playoffs. Liquidity is the issue there. So I like what I'm seeing from Inverness Cali Thistle. We could possibly lay the draw in that Tottenham match second half, that's for sure. Desperate need for win for both teams. And Gniston, newly promoted in the Finnish Viscount's League, have scored first against Oulu. That might give us an angle. I like Hearts this season as well. I think they're excellent. So we'll just get rid of a few of these. Villarreal and Sevilla. Good stuff from the Yellow Submarine. 1 shot on, 5 off, 3 corners. 85 the attacking pressure index, odds on favourite again. Ninth in the league. I think they have a little bit to play for. Spanish Segunda B. We have to check all of these out, really. Make sure there's motivation. So get rid of this Swedish football. And Turkish, let's have a look. As each Turkish goal comes in, we have to have a quick check. Standings. So let's have a look. Last day of the season. Boluspor can't break in to Genka Baliki, which is a pity. Coram, they can't really be caught in the promotion playoff places. Look at that goal difference. Change that to 59 and they'll still be in the promotion quarterfinals. So it's season over for Coram. Boluspor can't quite breach Genka Baliki unless Genka Baliki draw. So let's just return to Newcastle. Have they added any shots on and off target to give me any impetus? Well, 2 shots on, 3 off and 5 corners. I think I might be tempted to get involved. Look at that, 14 shots off target, 10 corners for AIK. 12 minutes to go. Can they do what Beijing Guan did and get stuck in late on? Certainly a lay the draw at some point here. Draw odds a little bit too high at the moment. Again, I'm ruining a little bit, not getting involved in the half-time market in the Tottenham match. But Newcastle, are we tempted in yet? 2 shots on, 3 off and 5 corners. It's been very even Stevens with the stats for these 2 sides. And again, are we seeing any change yet from Newcastle? Any Geordie fans know why Kieran Trippier is not playing? Almiron's not playing. Joe Linton's not playing. Nick Pope's not playing. They're not in Europe, are they? So it's a strange one. I do expect some changes if this remains 0-1. Then that could be the catalyst to get involved. Hearts have scored first against Dundee. Did fancy Hearts today. Odds on. Best of the rest in the SPL. So let's just keep an eye on Newcastle. 8 shots off target, West Ham. Luton.
Hearts Dundee is 1-0.
Yeah, get rid of that now. Kongsvinger, I might be tempted. Famous last words. So let's have a look at the Kongsvinger stats as they are. The draw odds are actually going down, probably in a liquid market. Let's have a look at Kongsvinger. Hopefully this won't be second time unlucky. I do like their reaction. But it is very early.
This market has been suspended.
Masper is 1-0.
That's the Adanaspor match. The goal, if you played the lay the draw there. I think that's an Adanaspor. Yes, indeed, they've taken advantage. So that's really good. We had motivation, we had the red card, we had really good in-play stats. The only negative, where they are in the league. Have I missed this again?
Inverness CT Montrose is 0-1.
Have I missed this again, or is it not in play? The one I wanted to get involved in is not in play. This is what you'll be seeing now, so I would recommend you take the green because you're trusting complete and utter dodge bots. Vital win. Just wait for the market to reform, please. You look at the difference between the back and the lay odds.
Goal. Adanaspor Bandar Masper is 1-0.
Okay, Adanaspor, that's the confirmation of the goal there in reaction to the red. But do wait for this to settle down, please. Look at this, ridiculous. That's a lack of market forces with only £5 grand match. So you might have to give this a bit of breathing space and then cash out. Okay, because this is totally off kilter at the moment. So get rid of that one. That was your sole angle in. Disgrace from AIK, or don't play so early on in the season. West Ham have got their first shot on target, 8 off. Any updates, Robert? Lovely goal from Palace, says Robert. So he's watching every single match. It's a difficult one to call this because it's a must-win for Luton. We can have a look at the live standings. You'll see the vital importance of this goal. Let's have a look. Luton must keep tabs on this Nottingham Forest side. So you take 3 points away, they're down at 26 with one match remaining. Nottingham Forest hold the cards. Looking above, Brighton got nothing to play for, have they? But look at Newcastle. They're allowing Chelsea in now. And indeed Manchester United for Den Haag. So I think Newcastle will need to turn this around. If they can get a draw, at least that will be 57 points with a positive goal difference coming into the remaining two matches for them. Again, Tottenham, it's an outside chance of catching up with Aston Villa, who are out of Europe now. Aston Villa, they've got no. Olympiacos did them. They've got no chance now. So be looking at Newcastle. I just don't understand why he's not playing a first 11. That's what's keeping me from playing this one. Let's see if the Kongsvinger match has unsuspended. It's likely there's a lack of. There we go. This is a bit. It's still not tight, isn't it? It's ridiculous. So be very, very careful. You can't cash out if you're playing in liquid markets like that. Looks like the Kongsvinger match we can't really play. So bring up Newcastle. Just keep an eye on that one. So I'll stick that on the watch list. I don't trust the team. And again, look at the very, very tight stats as well. The only difference is the dangerous attacks. And Sevilla have scored first against Villarreal. That is a shot. That might be gettable. Villarreal starting very, very brightly indeed.
Goal. Villarreal Sevilla is 0-1.
So we can have a look at the standings for Villarreal and Sevilla. I don't think there's any importance for Sevilla here. And it's a penalty as well. So that's something Stephen would point out to us.
Goal.
Villarreal still have...
Villarreal Sevilla is 0-1.
Yeah, we're just going to check the amount of matches left. Villarreal thoroughly deserved the lead there, but as you can see, it's a penalty. And that sums up why Villarreal are a goal down. It's not down to a sudden change from Sevilla. How many matches are remaining this season? Let's have a quick look. There's plenty of matches remain, so plenty of motivating factors remaining, at least for Villarreal. 4 matches remain for them. And a similar story, 4 matches, including today's, for Sevilla. But you look at the standings using the scoreline and go straight to the standings. You'll be able to highlight these two sides, do a bit of the old Carol Vorderman maths. And I suppose that Europe 45 plus 12, that's 57. So Europe is well within the grasp of both of these sides, but change this to 47 and it'll be even closer. So I think the onus is on Villarreal to take points off Sevilla today. Certainly Sevilla started to pick up points, but look who they're playing. Well, Granada, Mallorca, relegation threatened sides, Las Palmas, newly promoted, and Getafe. So been playing sides below them in the league. Getafe, Las Palmas, Mallorca, and Granada. All below them in the league, playing a side above them who started off extremely brightly. I think we might have an angle here. 1 shot on 5 off and 3 corners. A goal for Sevilla, penalty. So let's have a look at this one. Motivation for Villarreal to take points off their near rival here and get a result. So let's have a look at this one. So I will be laying over 1.5 goals as ever. Looking to lay to cover the insurance on the 0-1 to win the amount of money I want to play with, which will be £39.20, taking into account commission. You'll see there. Now, Sevilla +1 would be my first port of call. If it's 1.67 or 1.7 or above, I'll be quite happy with that. Now it's very low, which immediately takes you to the match odds market. But I'll just see the kind of rewards I'd get, because I'm just a bit. Oh, I'm playing Sevilla. Sorry, Villarreal +1. Villarreal +1 should be about 1.75, 1.7 there. Spot on. Good call again. I'm reading these markets pretty well. So I'm happy to just stay here. But if you want a chance of a bigger return, go into the match odds market, okay? Oh, you're joking.
This market has been suspended.
Is that the 1-1? It is the 1-1. Oh, come on. Oh, come on. Oh. I've got to get... This is just bad luck. I need to have the luck of Xavi Alonso. Oh, man. I've got to get out of this. Oh. Seconds away from that 1-1. And as Stephen does so well, he alerts us sometimes when there's a penalty. That's the kind of thing you've got to look out for, particularly when it's going against the run of play. Thoroughly deserved that equaliser. Just bad luck
Goal.
on my part, not getting on.
Villarreal Sevilla is 1-1.
Oh, thanks for reminding me. Newcastle, I'm going to wait for the second half. I think Eddie Howe will be making changes second half. At least early on in the season, Newcastle were a completely different side second half to first half. So I'm looking for the big guns to come on. That was just bad luck for Villarreal. I'm disappointed there. I'm losing money with the Sirius and with that Villarreal. You lot can go and take a running jump. Thank you very much. Adana Sport, good result there. That's all we need to look at, really. Just getting that goal. Not interested in anything else in that match. Oh, disappointing. Right, deep breaths. Press the mute button. Start swearing. Kick the cat and then get back. Right. Oh, should have stayed in bed today. Get rid of that one. Possibility of laying the draw second half, given the desperate need for points. But it's realistically, Burnley are done. The squabble, I think, is between Luton and Nottingham Forest for the final safety zone. Look at this current standings. Well, we haven't got the live standings here. Just change to the left. 25 points. So while Luton is still winning, yes, West Ham could equalise. Luton have a very strong both teams to score pattern, don't they? And as Bosun rightly points out, it's the last day of the season, at home at least, for David Moyes. Burnley, turn that into 3 points. They're up to 28 then. And even if Luton win, that will take it into the last day of the season. Tottenham, I don't think they'll be catching Aston Villa. Although if they turn this into 3 points, that's up to 63. Aston Villa have been a bit waylaid by European club football, as you can see there, but they're out. Olympiacos knocked them out midweek. A dead rubber for Liverpool now. They're not in the title race anymore. They can't be caught. So watch out for their performances. Moving on. Newcastle, I'm going to wait for the second half. Wait for substitutions, I think, before I get involved in the Newcastle match. It's a mystery, as a football trader, Toya Wilcox, could tell you, why they don't have a stronger lineup on. So I'm going to wait for the second half. I'm going to look at some changes, maybe take Murphy off, bring on either Trippier or Almiron. Keep Gordon on.
Goal.
Maybe get rid of Anderson.
Newcastle Brighton is 1-1.
Oh, you're joking. Ah, not my day today at all. I didn't play because I didn't like the team, and we're just on the cusp of half time as well, and they get the equaliser. So bang goes that opportunity to take
Goal.
on Brighton with
Newcastle Brighton is 1-1.
substitutions. So a couple of misplays there. Yes, Luton have a very strong both teams to score angle. I suppose covering the 0-1, but then you're trusting a West Ham with very little to play for. Looks as if, there we go, Premier League starting off. That's disappointing that. I was going to play the Newcastle match if I saw some substitutions second half. We might still see them. The draw might be vulnerable second half, as indeed could be the case in the Tottenham match as well. We're going to have a quick look at Luton's both teams to score angle. Look at West Ham, can't really get anywhere. 7 points, well, 10 points, 11 points to Aston Villa. Its season is over. But everything to play for Luton, but they have that very worrying both teams to score pattern, which is hugely concerning. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 of the last 14 matches have seen both teams score for Luton. They've only managed to get one win with that both teams to score pattern as well. So you fear for them today in what is, as Bosun says, West Ham's last home match. Leipzig have equalised against Werder Bremen. On paper, that's what you'd expect, but it's a dead rubber for Leipzig. So you'll have to excuse me if I don't get involved or just tread warily with dead rubbers. 2 goals against Liverpool. A failure to score against Fulham, though, but that was a London derby. That was a London derby as well. Second half goals. First half goal and a second half goal. Antonio and Bowen against Liverpool. So maybe see something second half. Luton do look very vulnerable. Where's that second goal away from home as well, apart from the Bournemouth match? So you'd have to cover that current scoreline. So on an ordinary afternoon, I would have got involved with this one, and indeed looking for a Leipzig equaliser. But it's not an ordinary afternoon. So I'm just treading a bit warily. AIK have a goal back. That's not going to help the averages at all, I'm afraid. 90th minute, unless we get some serious Fergie time in the serious match. Too little, too late, I'm afraid. And that's just bad luck, that Villarreal. Oh, man. 1.7 as well. I like 1.7 for the +1 mark. It's very nice indeed, particularly when you're dominating the match at home and you've conceded a penalty. Too little, too late, I'm afraid. As you can see, 1.01. If we got that goal a little bit earlier for AIK, then would have been up and running. So very, very disappointing indeed. Not happy with that at all. So we've got half times coming.
It has been suspended.
We've got some obvious lay the draws second half. Now that Newcastle have got the goal back, Tottenham and Burnley certainly would be a lay the draw akin to Adanaspor. Desperate need to do something today, that's for sure. So you can see that AIK goal there. Oh man, very, very disappointed. Be dropping money in that Villarreal match. So having a look. Dead rubber, Bournemouth and Brentford. Draw at 4.6 for Tottenham. I'm just using the telephone to look at these. Everton, as you'd expect, really, I think, against Sheffield United. They are the better side. And they've been in the better form. And their forwards have something to prove as well. The West Ham, well, Luton are just a touch of odds on now at 1.99. Freiburg and Heidenheim, arguable. You could lay that draw. I couldn't trust Leipzig, though, I'm afraid. That's just the way I play Villarreal, as you know. Absolutely gutted. Just bad timing on my part there. And we've got Bannical-Strava. Well, the insurance would have paid out there. Paulson, I missed that one. So I'm just going to go through. I'm using the Betfair app on the mobile just to give you some odds. Villarreal back now to 1.83. Union Berlin 1.45. But as Stephen pointed out, the FC Köln goal was a penalty. I don't expect too much from FC Köln, I'm afraid. Be totally unreliable all season. Mönchengladbach and Freiburg, arguable that you could lay that draw at some point with European football in mind for both of these two sides. So we'll get back to Football 24 now. Wherever it is. There we go. So we could have really filled our boots today, ordinarily. Some obvious trades, but they're not so obvious when it's this stage of the season. Right, so let me just sort out Football 24. So, headaches. Do you trust West Ham? I think that Luton both teams to score pattern we've just shown you, 14 of the last 15, or was it 13 of the last 14, with only the one win both teams have scored. That could come back to bite Luton Town and really play into Nottingham Forest's hands when they play, I think, tomorrow. Or is it a bit later on? I'm not sure. I think it's Nottingham Forest Chelsea. It's a little bit later on. Must win for both of these two sides for differing reasons, of course. So we've got plenty of action second half and plenty of potential. To be looking to possibly lay the draw here. That's a 4-2 for Paulson. We don't need to be alerted anymore. Now that's why I'll get rid of those matches. And Adanaspor was really the only real play for me in the Turkish Super League, and what was a quiet end to the season. So that's coming to an end now. Get rid of all the Turkish Super League matches. And then we're just going to focus on whether we think that West Ham can get a result. Dead rubbered West Ham. That's the problem. If you trust them, you might be on the wrong end of must-needs beating dead rubber. I always go with motivation over dead rubber. That's the problem. But as Bosun has said, we've got the conundrum of whether the West Ham team are going to get Moyes' last match at home out for a winning or at least a draw. Both teams to score is a very, very strong Luton trend, and they don't win when both teams to score. They've only, I think, beaten Bournemouth, haven't they? Second half in the German Bundesliga, I think we need to pay our attention to. We can't really play Kongsvinger, which is a real pity. Probably a blessing in disguise. So I think we can get rid of the Norwegian First Division. It's just not covered at the moment by Betfair. So let's just get rid of a few of these. Polish Second League, not going to play. Portimonense against Rio Ave. Well, you can see that Portimonense are 16th in the Primera Liga. And again, at this stage of the season, it's worthy of your attention. Just checking out league positions, etc. Live standings again will just give you an indication of who needs what and when. What we're missing, though, is the amount of matches left. But let's have a look. Not seeing Portimonense. There they are. So it's a desperate need for points for Portimonense. They're a goal down to, who is it? Vizela or Rio Ave, one of the two. No, they're not odds on. They're a goal down. They need points. So we'll keep an eye on their in-play stats, Portimonense, at this at this stage of the season. 2 shots on, 2 off. They're a goal down to Rio Ave. So desperate need for points for them. So we'll just give that a quick look. You've seen from about March and April onwards how sides who need points have picked up points. So we wouldn't be dismissing Portimonense at all. So we'll keep an eye on those. Get rid of the Championship playoffs. We can't really play these, just lacking liquidity. You've just seen with the likes of Adanaspor. Can't get out. Can't get out, even if you've laid the draw. So we're going to have to rely on them ending 1-0 against that red-carded Bandemirspor. Could save their bacon with that red card and that goal out of the relegation zone.
Villarreal Sevilla is 1-2.
Oh, we're going to have to check that Sevilla goal now. Is it another pen or is it an own goal? Certainly the main play for me was the equaliser. And it's El Nesri again. He's a top quality striker, so fair enough. But this was your angle there to there. Given that was a penalty, totally against the run of play, and Sorloth coming in and getting the goal. But this could be interesting for the second half. Can
Villarreal Sevilla is 1-2.
Can Villarreal equalise again? But we'll probably wait for the second half for that particular match to play out. 44th minute. 2 shots on 6 off from 4 corners. But El Nesri, he is a quality striker. He is dangerous. So let's have a look at some of the other matches we've been neglecting, particularly the German Bundesliga. But it is coming to the end of the season there. Get rid of some of these UAE as well. And all of the Turkish One League. Job done. Well done, Adanaspor. And if you laid the draw there, well done. That's the kind of match you look out for at this stage of the season. Red cards really do help as well, particularly when you need 3 points. So we'll just get rid of Uzbekistan. I don't think I'll be playing Uzbekistan today. Secunda B, while it's a little quiet, we just do some investigation, see how many matches are left in Secunda B. So again, we can just check when the goals come in. Spanish La Liga 2, all the way down here. So we just need to make sure we know how many matches are remaining this season. It would be nice if perhaps a in-play guru or something would have it in brackets, the amount of matches left, just in the run-in. It would be an excellent addition. Oh, there's a sideline. I was going to say, look at the amount of red cards there. 3 matches remaining this season. Just want to check there's no cup competitions. 3 matches remain. So we can do a bit of Carol Vorderman maths here. 3 matches remain. We're going off to Spanish La Liga 2, which will probably be in our all section or live section. Heading off to Spanish La Liga 2. Just want to make sure that we know who needs what and when. Get some motivation. I suppose with the Luton match, you could have done both teams to score no, couldn't I? Because I don't think they'll score 3 goals, but they could score 2 goals. But both teams to score no is probably going to be a little skinny at half time, particularly with dead rubber like West Ham. Live standings with 3 matches remaining. Spanish La Liga 2 is what we're interested in. So let's give that a quick look. And Consvinga equalise. That's the kind of day I'm having. Don't get me to buy you lottery tickets, okay? No luck at all today. I'm probably going to go out now and the cat's going to cross my path. I'm going to walk under a ladder. I'll get run over by a car or something. I've got to stay put. No luck today at all. Sporting Gijón. They have Real Oviedo, Elche, Burgos waiting in the wings in case they cock this up. Must win for them today, and they are currently winning for the promotion semi-final places with 3 matches remaining. 3 matches remaining or 2. Ferrol, very little to play for, but with a couple of matches remaining, if they can just turn this into 3 points, they'll be up to 57 and within grasp of the playoff places. Alcorcon could do with a win. Andorra still involved, but they need to turn that 1-2 around against Gijón. So that would be the kind of match you'd look for. Need for points for both teams. Look at that, the draw ending. Alcorcon in all sorts of trouble against Racing Ferrol. So we just have a quick look at Ferrol and Alcorcon. I think Alcorcon's in a spot of bother, aren't they? And red-carded as well. Do Ferrol need points like Alanaspor needed points? That's the question. Ferrol, mid-table mediocrity, but turn this into a win. And indeed, 3 points. So that could be one to target second half. We'll have a look at the in-play stats for Ferrol and Alcorcon. That looks to be a match of motivation, even with 3 matches remaining. So we're heading off to Racing Ferrol and Alcorcon. Wait for the second half, I would suggest. But I did that with Newcastle, and they got the equaliser before half-time, which is a real pity. Likely the cavalry might come on second half to turn this draw into a win, and much needed 3 points for Newcastle in a search for European football. Similar story, Tottenham and Burnley. Just got to check the stats feed because this is remaining at 46, so it must be still going on. So, what are you going to do second half? You think Tottenham and Burnley will end? Has to, really. It's a must-win for both teams. So get that draw at as low odds as possible. The problem is Tottenham are still retaining odds-on status. So let's have a look. Tottenham. .7, relatively high. What other angles are there? It could go correct score. Burnley did have a group of about 3 or 4 matches where they started scoring 2 goals, but that looks unlikely. It looked 2-1, 3-1, maybe a cover of 3-2 or 2-2 for you Dutchers. That might be an angle in if you fancy Tottenham today. A very hard team to trust. Let's have a look at West Ham and Luton. I think this could be one where we could risk a possible play here based on the both teams to score angle for Luton Town. Both teams to score no. 3.65. It's too high to take insurance out. And what this does...
This market has been suspended.
Both teams to score no covers the 0-1, covers the 0-2, covers the 0-3, but it's £15 liability. Relative to covering just the 0-1. At this stage, it's very low indeed. The market's expecting goals because of that both teams to score pattern for Luton Town. That's a lot better. I might just take that insurance out now. And we can have a look at the West Ham +1 market. It's very tough though because they're in a bit of poor form, aren't they? This has just gone up, so we'll have to get back out again. So lay that over 1.5 goals just to be ready for the second half. I'm just playing that both teams to score angle. Someone's messing about with the overs market. I don't think that 27 is going to be matched. So I'm going to have to get involved again. 18 now, okay. So I've got £21 left to be matched. No one's going to bite. It's £3 waiting there, so I've got no chance. So I'm just going to get that £21 matched, so I can have a total of about £40 or thereabouts. Just drop that to the £40 mark. Now this comes with risks, of course, because West Ham don't need to win, unless you take Bosun's angle regarding not a goal of importance, that one. Bosun's angle regarding the last home match for Mr. Moyes. West Ham +1, if it's anywhere near, I would say, given their poor form, there'd be about 1.8, 1.9, or even higher. Well, even higher, evens. That is a warning sign. What that tells me is that the market doesn't fancy them at all. Anything over 1.8 in this particular market is a negative. So this, given my luck today, Luton are going to score 3 goals. West Ham are going to score 2 in response in the 88th and 90th minute. And then they're going to hit the post in the 98th minute where I could have cleaned up. So watch out. No luck for me today at all. I'm staying in my room. I'm not going anywhere. You can see just no luck, bad timing, basically. Second half's the beginning. So I've taken the taken a leap, although it's very iffy. But Jared Bowen is playing. He is an absolute quality striker. He's been scoring for fun, basically. So we'll have a look at that one. I'll pass this on to Telegrams with a degree of trepidation. West Ham against Luton. This is a very iffy one, but I have laid over 1.5 goals to cover that 0-1 in case Luton pull off the win. They have scored and conceded, I think, in 13 of the last 14 matches, and they've only won one of those. Last time they scored 2 goals was quite a while ago away from home. West Ham, one of our members, Bosun, has mentioned that it's the last day of the season, at least for David Moyes at home. That could be the motivating factor to get an equaliser here. 9 shots off target, only the 1 on target, but it is a dead rubber for West Ham. That's the dangerous part. So you could lose money here. They don't need to bust a gut to win unless it's for the manager. So I've backed West Ham +1 at 2.02. Fully prepared to possibly lose this because I don't like playing dead rubber matches. Okay, so you have been warned. Play it if you'd like. Tottenham and Burnley is a must win for both teams. It's a draw currently. The draw odds are far too high. I'm going to wait till the draw hits about 3.5 or lower and then lay the draw. Newcastle, I was waiting for Newcastle to get their big boys on. They've got Almiron and Trippier, Pope. There's some really big players on the bench. So I didn't expect an equaliser. Got it right at the end. So that spoilt that a bit. But again, Newcastle are playing in Europe. Must win. So the possibility of laying that draw at some point in the second half, I would be even more confident if they bring on Trippier, Almiron, that kind of thing. More first 11 players out. So let's have a look and see whether West Ham, this is a very dodgy one, so please, it wouldn't surprise me if this went the way of Luton Town today. So we will wait and see. There's no obligation for West Ham to win just because it's David Moyes' last home match, but it's an excellent point from Bosun. It's just giving us something to think about, isn't it? I'm going to get rid of all the Norwegian second-tier matches because I don't think I'll be playing them today because some of them aren't available on Betfair. You saw the Kongsvinger one. The one I wanted to play wasn't available. Köln, 82nd minute, 1-2 against Union Berlin. Let's keep an eye on the in-play stats there because Köln have that goal back, even though it's a penalty. But if they can get a point today, it's vital. But it's also vital for Union Berlin. Dead rubber, of course, for Leipzig, but they are by far the better side by a country mile. 15 shots off target for Frankfurt, 8 corners, but the elephant in the room, only 1 shot on target. Again, European action. This could be one where you could start laying the late draws at 1.25 and lower. Werder Bremen could do with 3 points, but no shots on target. 8 off on a corner. I think that's incorrect. Must be a few more than that because they've actually got a goal. So you could be laying the late draw in these. I wouldn't be laying at 1.6, 1.4 or 1.53. I'll be looking at 1.25. You know your risk then. It'll be a maximum of about £4 if you're drip laying. Watch out for Köln. 12 shots off target. Desperation might see them do something here. 2 consecutive draws. But where's that second goal? It did come against Bochum, but it's not come elsewhere. Union Berlin, excellent match against Bochum. We nearly profited from that, didn't we? But I did show you, talk about the averaging, came out of the +1 with a profit there. But they've been a little weak of late, but they're meeting a fellow relegation threatened side. They've already beaten this season 2-0. But late on, if the liability is low, at this stage of the season, you take these draws on, particularly when you're seeing this kind of thing, some late action. What's out second half now? Tottenham look to be coming alive, I think, against Burnley. 3 shots on, 7 off, 4 corners. There's possibilities here for Tottenham to get a result. I'll wait for the draw odds to get a bit lower before laying the draw. Similar story for Newcastle. I'll just wait. And Everton look to be absolutely crossing the blades today. So the draw currently for Tottenham is at 4s. I'm just waiting for it to get a little bit lower. 3.45 for Newcastle is more within my grasp. I quite like that. And again, this could be one of those, like a Danaspor, I might want to look at getting out with a third of liability as loss. Just a little bit iffy regarding Newcastle's lineup today. Bournemouth and Brentford is a complete and utter dead rubber. You'd have to be howling mad Murdoch to put your money on any of those two sides, trusting those two. West Ham and Luton, it's a difficult one. So I wait and see the second half. Do we have that very strong both teams to score pattern? Is that going to be of importance? We will see. That was an Inverness goal against Montrose, and it was deserved. You've got the Inverness up here. 1 shot on 4 off 6 corners. But again, the playoff, championship playoffs, it's a
Goal.
illiquid.
West Ham Luton is 1-1.
Yes, it paid off. That both teams to score pattern. It's very difficult to trust, but well done, Bosun, for that nice angle. That gave me a little bit more confidence. Now,
Goal. West Ham Luton is 1-1.
we've lost £6 here, so I'm just going to see the profit I can make if I cash out immediately, because I don't want to be staying in overstay my welcome in this particular market. So I'll still make £20 out of this, which will take some of a profit back from a serious loss. Good angle, Bosun. Thank you very much for sharing that one. Both teams to score as well. We do our due diligence with that. We know Luton are awful, basically, with the both teams to score. And where's that second goal going to come from? It's not going to look very good. I'm going to be cashing out personally here. That will get me some of my loss. Don't forget, when you've made a loss earlier on, hoover up your greens, like your mother used to tell you. Okay, that's going to compensate for some of that serious loss. That was a total of 20 odd quid for the serious loss as well. So that's covered that. I've still got that loss on Villarreal, but that was only about a tenner. I'm okay with that. So we've got the equaliser. Job done. I'm just going to make sure you're all okay and there's no complaints about the sound, etc. Hearts make it 2-0. Bank of material really today, Hearts, at odds on. Verazdin has scored first against Rijeka. That might be a potential play. Well done, Roberts. Greendalf. Tuk. Robert laid Brighton and Greendalf. Well done. So thank you very much, Bosun, for that. Paid off. Köln have made it 2-2. There we go. I couldn't have seen it. But this is all about relegation 6-pointers. Now, if we've got enough time left, that draw is vulnerable. Union Berlin, squeaky bum time for them. As I've said, take on these late draws, but Union Berlin wasn't part of it. I didn't trust FC Köln to be scoring, but having said that, they are really poor at goal scoring. But that said, the first goal was a penalty, if you remember. This is well, you can see the draw, plenty to go, but I'm going to get involved with the drip lay of this draw. So we're going to be laying £5. I'm going to start at 1.25, but as you've seen, in some occasions I've missed out on the profit because I've got involved at 1.25 and the goal has come a little bit too early. But I'm weighing in the amount of time left. I need to keep my liability low. I start off at 1.25, go to 1.19 to win a fiver, go to 1.14 to win a fiver. Don't forget the other draws, Freiburg and Mönchengladbach, Frankfurt, coming to the last gasp, and Werder Bremen as well. So arguably, you could be laying the draw on all three for motivation purposes. Right, 1.25, 1.19, 1.14, 1.09, and I can up my stake to £11. We might see a very, very late goal because it's under £1, as you can see there. My maximum liability here is going to be about £4.35. 1.06 in case we get a very, very, very late goal. And we're going to be laying to win £16 because my liability will remain under £1. Off we go. So that's in. This is what I call mines. If they get trodden on, then we're up and running. It's a must win. It's a relegation 6-pointer. Got to do it. Let's go and have a look at Mönchengladbach and Eintracht Frankfurt. I think more so Werder Bremen has more motivation. And we're at 1.16, so we can start getting involved. At anything under 1.25 with a fiver, and then go to your next available one, which will be 1.14, or will be 1.09 now, to win 11 quid. Again, the liability will be ultra low here. And then 1.06. Just given the motivation for European places, particularly for Eintracht Frankfurt, 16, and the liability would be about £2.40 here, £2.70 or thereabouts. Next, port of call, Leipzig and Werder Bremen. The need is for Werder Bremen to get the win here. Don't forget, they did score first. It is a dead rubber for Leipzig, which is the negative here. Because I would, if I'm laying the draw, at this stage of the season, you want to have both teams playing for you. But Leipzig are guaranteed Champions League football, so they're not going to be busting a gut. Werder Bremen might be busting a gut. But that said, obviously, Leipzig are the better side by a country mile. So 1.25, 1.14, 1.09, and we're going to up that to 11, and then 1.06. Werder Bremen is the side for me to focus on here. They'll have a chance at European football if they can get the win today. It's an outside chance, though. It requires Freiburg not to win. Freiburg and Heidenheim is the last one. And you know what Heidenheim are like. They love their score draws. So this could be a difficult one. So I might have a look, see what the odds are like. Motivation in all of these matches for different reasons. We're at 1.2, so that's going to decrease our liability. I'll start at 1.19. As we see there, probably not going to get matched. Oh, it will get matched at the lower odds. Yeah, 1.14. And again, 1.09 to win 11 quid. This is only something I would do at this stage of the season. It's not to do every match. We're talking about motivation here. European places. So those are all placed. I can leave them now. If we get a goal, if we get any late goals, excellent. But the clock's not our friend. That's why I want to keep this liability as low as possible. Look at West Ham. 4 shots on 9 off and 2 corners. They've got a bit between their teeth. They want to say goodbye to David Moyes. And Köln have got the goal. Let's have a look at the Union Berlin match. Wow. This could save Köln's season. Did I get involved here? I hope so. Get this Desmond. Yeah, well, I only got one matched. What a pity. Oh, this is the problem I was talking to you about. Of you either drip lay or you get involved at, what was it, about 1.35 odds. So that was a tad unlucky. So you have the choice. You can either drip lay or you can get involved at the 1.35 with a full stake and let the cards fall where they may. But I prefer this route, but then this is the negative. You've called it right and you're only making £4.24. But that's covering one of your other lays now. You're getting a free hit of one of the other 3 matches because that's covering your stake. So that's one up done. Mönchengladbach Frankfurt ends. Werder Bremen need to win. Freiburg would ideally need to win as well. Other draws of interest. Newcastle must win as well. Great stuff from Köln. We should have really made it much bigger profit. We'll get rid of some of these. I'll be alerted of these via Football 24. Tottenham, 4 shots on 9 off and 5 corners. The big negative here, of course, is their woeful recent form. Only the 1 shot on target second half, 4 shots off target, and 2 corners. While Luton are drawing, let's have a look at how it looks at the bottom. So we'll bring this up. So we need to have a look at how these draws are affecting the positions. It's advantage Nottingham Forest. They're loving this, but they've got a very tough encounter against Chelsea later on. Chelsea, who've got Europe in mind, as you can see here. So as things stand, it is advantage Nottingham Forest with everyone else dropping 2 points. Forest can get something out of today, break into the magical 30-point barrier coming into the last game of the season. But they've got a very tough encounter against a Chelsea who've been very tough to beat. I don't know why Chelsea fans are up in arms. They've been in excellent recent form. Freiburg ends 1-1, so we don't make a profit there. But the big gain was that 3-2 for Köln. Leipzig and Werder Bremen, an outside chance. Leipzig got nothing to play for. I prefer, as I say, with draws that both teams have something to play for, like indeed Tottenham and Burnley, for instance. Plenty to play for both teams. You might see Postecoglou gone if they lose to Burnley today. And Leipzig ends as well 1-1, but I would always be laying late on with the motivating factors that we have in front of us. And Wolves have a goal back against Crystal Palace in what is a dead rubber. I think let's be disciplined and get rid of these dead rubber matches so we don't play them. Nothing to play for. Sheffield United got absolutely nothing to play for apart from pride. And Bournemouth and Brentford, let's get rid of that. It's a dead rubber. Don't be tempted in. I could have done with a bit of Ethiopian coffee last night. It's a late night for me. And we'll get rid of all of these. Bundesliga finished. The big profit maker would
This
have been that
market has been
3-2.
suspended.
That's probably a West Ham goal, I would suggest, to make it 2-1. They've really come out second half. We will see. Or it's the end of one of my German matches.
Goal. West Ham Luton is 2-1.
There we go. That's the West Ham goal. Thoroughly deserved as well, as you can see here. And that's probably consigned West Ham, consigned Luton to
This
relegate.
market has been suspended.
Got such a woeful record. Such a woeful record, Luton Town, when both teams have scored in recent matches. Tottenham are lighting up the attacking pressure index. So we can get rid of this. I think this is thoroughly deserved, as you can see. It's one-way traffic for West Ham.
Goal. West Ham Luton is 2-1.
5 shots on 12 off and 5 corners. Really good stuff. Everton have been given a little bit of something to think about by Sheffield United, as you can see there. Wolves and Crystal Palace remains 0-2. Brighton and Newcastle. Well, let's just see if we've had any substitutions for Newcastle. This is a very, very tight match, as you can tell. Identical stats, pretty much.
Goal. West Ham Luton is 2-1.
Yeah, thoroughly deserved, as you can see there. So that's likely news. And Wolves have a goal back, but it's a dead rubber. So let's have a look at how this has changed the complexion of the relegation dogfight. Let's have a look. Forest are loving this. Last day of the season. If Forest get a result today, Luton are down, aren't they? As things stand, last day of the season, they'll need 3 points. Nottingham Forest get a draw. They're on 30, can't be caught. Burnley get a win. They're up to 27, and they can catch Forest. So that Burnley-Tottenham match, this is what I'm talking about. As it gets deeper into the match, time pressure will play an important role. Both of these sides need the win for different reasons. So that's real time pressured match, this, isn't it? But I couldn't trust Tottenham further than I can throw them at the moment. Very risky. But I'll be laying that draw very, very late on if it maintains a 1-1, because it's a must win. With Luton losing, it's a must win for Burnley to have a chance Otherwise, in Nottingham Forest, as things stand, if Forest get a draw later on, now that you could see a total shift perhaps in the Forest setup against Chelsea a bit later on today. But sides who play not to lose tend to lose. You've got to play to win. They could be tempted in. Forest to go all defensive against Chelsea later on. Let's have a look at some of the other matches. We know about Ferrol, got that red card. And are you tempted in to lay that draw just yet? 3 shots on target, one of them second half, 8 shots off, 2 of them second half, 2 corners only. So the corner count very low indeed, suggesting a lot of the action is away from the goals. But can they take advantage? They must win, Racing Ferrol. Alanyaspor did it. Can they do it? So we will find out. Just get rid of some of these. Bundesliga beginning in Austria. Odds-on favourites, Austria Vienna, look like they deserve odds-on favourite status on their opening in-play stats. That's an odds-on favourite goal. That could be the Croatian match. It's a penalty for Brentford, but it's a dead rubber, so I'm not getting involved. Up to you if you want to get involved. Let's have a look at Vazden and Rijeka. I think Rijeka were odds-on favourite pre-match. They're 2 goals down. We don't have the pre-match odds. Where are they? There they are. Pre-match odds. 1.75 pre-match favourite. So we'll have a look at the Rijeka-Varazdin match in Croatia. Just have the in-play stats up at least. So on the way to Croatia, I can get rid of Bosnia-Herzegovina. Normally this Varazdin, this Rijeka side are pretty handy. And it's very, very early in the match. So it might be worth your attention, this one. Let's have a quick look at what the market looks like. So we'll just go and have a look at Varazdin and Rijeka. VAR Varazdin. It's very, very early for a 1.75 favourite to be down. And if the odds are short enough, they're gettable enough. Given you've got 2/3 of the match remaining. Let's have a look at the in-play stats though. 2 shots on, 3 off in a corner. So it just looks like good finishing from Varazdin. But as ever, let's just check whether there's a penalty or there's an own goal to give us a bit of confidence that Rijeka could come back into this match. Let's have a look. We don't know. We don't know the goals. Look like they're from open play. We have a quick look at the league table. Is there a motivating factor for Rijeka this season? Let's have a look. Indeed, second in the league. Get a win today. They're up to 74 points. Just check this out in case there's an arrow next to their name. That would signify season over. There's an arrow under Hajduk Split. So this is a squabble between Rijeka and Dinamo Zagreb for the title. Simple as that. Rudez are relegated. Varazdin mid-table mediocrity. Nothing to play for. Everything to play for here. Just check the amount of matches left in the Croatian HNL 1 league. And then we can perhaps have a punt at taking on this Varazdin side. Rijeka. Dinamo Zagreb look favourite for the title. They've got a game in hand. Let's head off to Croatia. And it's 3 goals for Palace. Watch out for them next season. If they can keep this first 11 next season, this is the first time under the new manager they've scored more than 1 goal away from home. Where am I going? Yeah, we want to see the amount of matches left. That's it. HNL. 3 matches remain for Rijeka, so they can still get the title, but they're going to face a struggle. Again, make sure you just choose the league because you've got some cup matches there. One away matches, 2 consecutive away matches. Recent loss to DZ that could hand a title to Dinamo Zagreb, and a loss to Lokomotiv Zagreb. 2 of the big guns should have been expected to get a result against Varazdin. But having said that, Varazdin got an unexpected win against Hajduk Split, one of the big dogs as well. They only lost 1-0 to DZ. 46-minute goal. 67 minutes. So there's possibilities of taking on, I think, this Varazdin side. Again, motivating factors. Motivating for Rijeka. And this is very short odds indeed. So let's just make sure you keep your liability low. Try to get it under a tenner while trying to get 100 quid on Rijeka. You want to make that money work for you. I don't know if we'll be able to make it to 100 because we're only at 10.5. So go down to 10. Yeah, this will be breaching the 100, breaching the 10 quid. So make it to 12 or 13. No, look, it's getting a bit high. There we go. £101. We're only doing that because we want that money to work for us as far as greening up is concerned. So this looks a good play. It's very, very early in the match. Lots of time to go. Huge motivating factor for Rijeka this season. So certainly one for me to telegram, and I'll have to write this one out because of the spelling. So it still remains 1-1. Newcastle 1-1. Tottenham. Varazdin v Rijeka is 2-0 lead. Rijeka have a small battle with Dinamo Zagreb for the title, so are hugely motivated here. And this is an early this is an early lead. So I have laid Varazdin at one. Oh, Varazdin. I'll just shorten it at 1.35 and backed Rijeka at 10.5. I've played motivated teams at this stage of the season. So still in the first half. So there we go.
Goal. FK Austria Vienna Wolfsberger AC is 0-1.
This market has been suspended.
So we've got a suspended market. Tottenham, oh, they are spoiling their season. Or having said that, Burnley could be just being defensively stout
Goal.
here.
West Ham Luton is 3-1.
Well, that's job done for West Ham. David Moyes will be delighted. Luton Town are going to be down if Nottingham Forest draw. I think Luton are down. If my Carol Vorderman maths is correct. Let's have a quick check. Just to confirm this, because it looks unassailable now for Luton Town. That both teams to score, coming to bite them on the backside again. Right, Luton are on 26 points with one match remaining. Okay, minus negative goal difference. I think they are down. Unless Nottingham Forest lose by 14 goals today or more. So I need confirmation that Luton are down. So if you can help me with that, anybody, can you confirm that Luton Town will be relegated with this scoreline? Are you watching the match? Is that something that commentators have mentioned? So if anyone knows whether Luton will be relegated after this result, let me know, because it will change the whole complexion of the Nottingham Forest match. They will be playing without any pressure. So I think on goal difference alone, they are down. Do you trust Villarreal to get that equaliser again? El Nesri, penalty and a goal from open play, 11 shots off target, 7 corners. I might go in again. Let's just see. I might go in again with Villarreal, although they cost me earlier on because I didn't get on in time. It's as simple as that. Villarreal and Sevilla. In this case, at 1-2, you'd be laying over 3.5 goals to cover that insurance. Might be relatively high. Well, 1.36. So it comes with the attached risks. Or you might just want to go into the match odds if you get a low enough liability. Well, it's evens, so that's not confident
Goal.
Vote, is it?
Racing Ferrol Alcorcon is 1-0.
That's the Racing Ferrol goal. So if you laid that draw with that red card and with the factor that they needed to win, well done. Right at the beginning of the second half, I'm afraid. I didn't quite catch it. 46th minute, that one. So do pay attention to when the second halves begin. So this is, I'm going to be doing this again. I hope, watch this, it's going to be 2-2 now.
Goal. Racing Ferrol Alcorcon is 1-0.
It's going to be 2-2 before I place the play. Villarreal +1 again. I'm playing the in-play stats here. Similar odds to West Ham, but far better in-play stats. Racing Ferrol, I really hope you played that one. Tottenham have got the win. If you laid the draw there, that's likely. Burnley done. Tottenham must win. So Tottenham get the goal. I was going to be laying very, very late on.
Tottenham Burnley is 2-1.
I just can't trust them, I'm afraid. There's a Racing Ferrol. We had to keep an eye on our in-play stats, didn't we? So I really hope you played that one. Exactly the same as El Anaspor. We've got a motivated side. We've got 10 men. We've got the motivated side at home. Vastly improved in-play stats. So Tottenham looks as if they have survived. And Burnley are done. So Nottingham Forest are having an excellent afternoon, having not lifted a finger. Let's have a look at the live standings there. So it was a must-win really today for Tottenham. Now at the bottom, Burnley are done. They can't catch Nottingham Forest with a game to go. Luton can't catch Nottingham Forest. So I believe the Nottingham Forest match is a dead rubber now. I think. So I'm just getting Football 24 back up. Burnley are done. They can't get out of this one because the best case for them now would be a draw, you'd suspect. So let's get back up. 2-1 to Tottenham. Newcastle, have they made any changes? Surely Kieran Trippier et al. Must get a look out today. This looks like a nervy match for Newcastle, doesn't it? Far too low against a solid Brighton side, but they've got nothing to play for. Surely we'll have some substitutions now. Indeed, here they come. Well, we've got Joe Linton, Almiron and Barnes, Harvey Barnes. But where is your England international? He must have had some injury or something. It's very strange. Kieran Trippier, he's brilliant on the ball, set pieces. But he's still on the bench. So very strange. I'm looking at the in-play stats. Well, it's even Stevens. It could go either way. This very, very tight match. Very tough for Newcastle in their hope for European football. Look at the mess this is potentially going to make. So let's have a look. The matches are running out for Newcastle. This is another one to eye for a late lay the draw. They're still clinging on, but then Chelsea could be playing in Nottingham Forest who don't need to win. Have I got my maths right? So Newcastle at 1-1, and they still have the possibility. Well, do they? 57 to 63 is 6 points. So you'd be looking really for that draw to end, but it's been a strange team selection today from Eddie Howe. It's like Tottenham are edging forward. They could do with a third goal, I think, given they've had such a lack of confidence in recent matches. A third goal.
This market has been suspended.
9 and 12,
Goal.
21.
NK Varajman HNK Rijka is 2-1.
It's 2-1. Excellent stuff. We've got a goal back. Varazdin, very early. Motivation, motivation, motivation at this stage of the season. Let's have a look at what this has done for Raika. It's a come before half-time as well. It's excellently timed goal. And you'll be seeing a green already. So if you fancy
Goal.
the green.
NK Varajman HNK Rijka is 2-1.
So that's excellent. This is all about playing this particular part of the season. So I'll just pass this on. We've got a goal for Raika. 1-2. You're already seeing a green screen. If it's anything like my green screen, it'll be about an evens return. I could make a £15.60 return for a £14.90 liability. So excellent stuff. Cash out if you want, or do weigh up that we've got a full second half to go. We've got a motivated away side who could win the title or be in there with the title shout if they can get 3 points today.
Goal.
So
Newcastle Brighton is 2-1.
And Newcastle get the win. Newcastle get the win. I was going to play it very, very late on. 1.73, a little bit too high for me. But these draws are gettable, aren't they? You either lay them at the beginning of the second half and take the hit, or you don't. Okay? Called them correctly. I really hope you got involved and made a profit yourself. Do try to make your own decisions as well, please, with the information available. Don't just idly copy me. So you've made nice profits there. Must wins tend to win, don't they? Must wins tend to win. So that's changed the whole. Oh, it's VAR. Oh no. But has it changed on the live standings? Let's have a look. VAR. If it stands, 59 points. And Bournemouth and Brentford is a dead rubber, so I've really got absolutely no interest whatsoever in that particular match. So 2 of the draws coming in. If you did load the second half, well done. Oh no. Might get involved a little bit later on, because we're getting to that part of the game now for Newcastle where we could see a potential winner. So I'll just star that. Well done to Raika. Let's have a look at Newcastle lay the draw odds. What are they looking like? I'm going to put the sound on. There we go. Newcastle will be absolutely gutted. It could cost them a European place. Draw odds are still far too high for me, I'm afraid, at the moment. But it's up to you. You want to get involved now, because you would have picked up the Tottenham one if you got involved early. Who could be the potential saviour for Tottenham? Let's have a look. Van der Ven. That's a new name to me. Let's have a look at the commentary in the Luton match. Does it give us any clue that they are relegated with this result today on goal difference? I can't listen to auditory, otherwise we'll get copyright issues. No. No real indication there. And if any of you know, my assumption's correct, that Luton are relegated, let me know in the chat. Yeah, Van der Ven. Well, still a little way to go for Newcastle. Likely to be a lot of extra time. 1.5, very high odds relative to the amount of time left. So likely there's going to be some Fergie time there. Can we get an equaliser for Villarreal? Well, secondary stats are excellent, but El Nesri is on a hat-trick. That's the negative there. Racing Ferrol, well done. That was the only thing you were looking for there, that goal. Portimonense, possibilities of the relegation threatened side, pulling off an upset against the 10th in the league, Rio Ave. 3 shots on, 6 off, 4 corners. Keep an eye on that one. Austria Vienna, 1.67 pre-match, so certainly keep an eye on them. It's half-time as well, so there's no rush. I think Rijeka could make this a 2-2 and a possible 2-3. Don't forget, they must win, really, to have hope of winning the title. Dinamo Zagreb, a very tough side to go against. We'll get rid of that one.
This market has been suspended.
Everton looks like they've pulled off another impressive performance. It's 4 wins in 5 matches for them. We'll get rid of some of these. Napoli-Bologna coming up. It's a European club competition for both of these two sides, I believe. Outside chance for Napoli. Mulder, very strong favourite, so I'll be doing all of this on Telegram for you. We get rid of some of these. Got a few matches coming up as well. So I'll say goodbye to you at 5 o'clock. Anything late on? Well, Newcastle still. How are the draw odds looking? Well, it's getting to about 1.28. I'm going to wait a little bit longer because, as I've said to you, I just don't like that team selection today. Not the first 11. Must be a reason why Kieran Trippier is on the bench. So it's getting shorter and shorter. So give it a go now. Again, my usual drip laying. Press the confirm button. So lay at 1.23. Again, you can just lay now all in at 1.23, or you can drip lay. You saw what happened with the curl match. You only make £4 for all of your efforts. 1.19. If you get all of these come in, you make a 10-to-1 return, which is very good indeed. And if you fancy a side, you can also drip back like this. So you could drip back Newcastle plus 69p, and that will leave a bit of a break-even-ish on Brighton as well, if you're laying a draw as well. The draw is going up here. So we go down to 1.14. So there must be some extra time, must be a lot of extra time. That's a reaction to that draw, as you can see there. And a reaction to Newcastle's odds going down from 8 to 6.2. You see I can make a massive 15p. So I'll just leave it late in case we get a very, very late winner. They bring on Michael Owen, perhaps he could get a late winner for them. Oh,
This market has been suspended.
right. What's happened here? Must be plenty of extra time in this Newcastle match. Let's have a look. The commentary's got anything? Substitution. Kieran Trippier coming on in the 93rd minute. Yeah, excellent. Penalty appeal. So it's a case chasing the ref. So I wonder if there is a penalty. We'll see it come up here. PEN. So let's have a look. Yeah, must be. Nope, it's false alarm. Portimonense have equalised against Rio Ave. So there we go. It's yet another example to you. End of the season. Relegation threatened sides overperforming. Why? Because they're done, basically. 1.09 to win 11. And then 1.06.
Goal. Portimonense Rio Ave is 1-1.
To win 16. And we can also, well, it must be a red card, I think. Because they're suddenly out to 17s. Newcastle. Why are they the outsider? But you can still look to win a fiver. Because they're the ones who need the win. It's going to cost you nothing. 30p. If you favour one side over the other. And another fiver there. Oh, that's Brighton, sorry. They keep swapping because I'm using back odds rather than as on Betfair. So the shortest odds are at the top. So it's even Stevens pretty much. So I've got all my lays in. It's going to be slightly higher liability than normal because I've topped up on Newcastle. Going again on Newcastle, make sure I get it right. They keep flitting. There we go. Oh, I've gone Brighton again. Look, I'm going to have to change this to as on Betfair. Come on. That way it'll stay static. There we go, Newcastle at the top. Motivation for Newcastle, motivation. There's still a little bit of time left at 1.12 down to 1.01. Put their European hopes in jeopardy. Tottenham have got the win that they needed. They'll be delighted with that. That's just the VPS going, I'm afraid. So we're a little bit blind. Have to wait for the Football 24 to come up. So we've got Molde beginning at 5 o'clock. Possibility for Austria Vienna to get an equaliser second half. We'll have to keep an eye on that one. Can Villarreal make it 2-2 without conceding another goal? Or at least 1-2, which I've got covered. So I'll keep an eye on that one with interest. We're just waiting for the end of the Newcastle match. And we'll see the importance of a possible win for Newcastle today. This should show whether Luton are relegated by putting an arrow next to their name in the standings. So let's check that out. Just Sheffield United relegated. So
This market has been suspended.
2 matches remaining. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. So Nottingham Forest got everything to play for. I thought they were up to 37, Luton, but it looks like 36. Newcastle match is over. So that's the end of the live stream. Hope you've enjoyed it. Thanks very much for coming along. I'll see you all again in Telegram if there is anything to pass on to you for the next couple of hours. Thanks very much for coming along. Do appreciate it. Appreciate all of your words as well. Cheers for now. And I'll see you over on Telegram if there's any other trading angles. Our poor old Racing Ferrol have conceded late to Alcorcon, the absolute clowns. Oh, man. You're playing 10 men, for goodness sake. Have a great rest of your evening, and I hope to see you on Telegram